I'm sorry, I was having a little bit of technical difficulty there. Um, I am the owner of Torch Wellness, and I do a free meditation class every Tuesday night. Oh, no, the second Tuesday of every month, because I feel very passionate about sharing kind of the wisdom of mindful meditation. And I like to kind of draw people in with very easy exercises because everybody can meditate. I know I have clients, in case you didn't know, I practice psychiatric psychiatry, integrative psychiatry. And I will have clients show up and they're like, I can't meditate. I can't sit. If I sit down, all of a sudden my mind goes crazy and I can't do it. And I like to share with them that that's the whole purpose of mindful meditation is to kind of sit with yourself and to know where you are. You know, you can't begin a journey until you know where you are, and then you can decide where you want to go. So I have a lot of clients who want to be happy. Of course, that's what every human being wants, but they're in distress. And so they're in distress and they come to me and they want to be happy. They really don't know how they got where they are. And mindful meditation can help us kind of drop into the present moment so we can start to take inventory of where we are and how we created this situation. Meaning, what are our automatic thoughts when we're confronted with situations? What are our assumptions and judgments that we make about ourselves and other people? And then what are our core beliefs? You know, unless we really take time to get to know ourselves, we can't really make change. And so mindful meditation is an excellent way to learn to kind of drop into your human experience. And for most of us, when we start mindful meditation, any type of meditation, when we start yoga, when we start qigong, tai chi, anything that's going to kind of put us in the present moment, for most of us, that's really uncomfortable because we've spent our lives avoiding the present moment. I mean, look at the, number of people we have that are drinking, smoking, overeating, marijuana is about to be legalized. You know, that's fine with me. But, I tell clients when we start using it multiple times a week or we start using it every day, does it become a crutch? Does it become a way of self-medicating to avoid what's going on inside? So I am very grateful for those of you who have come today. Please announce you're here, if you don't mind, in the side bar so I can see. Let me see. I see Tracy's already going with her comments. I'm very grateful for Tracy. So I had heard a quote on Sunday that I wanted to share with everybody first before we started on the meditation. And unfortunately, I didn't capture the name of the person who said it, so please forgive me. And if the person who said it ever sees this, I'm very sorry I didn't acknowledge you. But the quote is, if you do not transform your pain, you will transmit it. And so the idea is we are all walking around with pain. We're all walking around with past traumas that we haven't healed. We're all walking around with anger or grief that hasn't been fully processed. It's part of the human condition. And it's ironic that most of us think that when we look at other people, that they aren't struggling, right? Like we think we're the only ones who are struggling and that there's something wrong with us. But the reality is it's the state of the human condition to suffer and to feel happiness and joy. And so I wanted to just plant the seed kind of tonight about acknowledging that there most likely is some pain or some anger, some unresolved pain or anger or grief inside of you, and that mindfulness meditation uh, can really help you start to kind of bring those feelings to the surface so you can heal them. Um, and that can seem scary, that can seem overwhelming, but it's really our ticket to freedom. It's really our ticket to being able to let go of the fear that we have in our hearts that causes anxiety. And it really allows us to let go of the sadness that we may feel that leads to depression. So I have clients that will come and talk to me about it's just biochemical. It's just biochemical. And that is, I don't think that that's true. I do believe that we may have a genetic predisposition to anxiety or depression, but I also believe that those genes need triggers in order to express themselves. So it can be trauma, it can be certain environmental situations, or it can even be our trains of thought. If we're constantly having negative thoughts, if we're constantly berating ourselves or judging ourselves, or if we're constantly feeling like we're not good enough, it's going to lead to some depression. If we're constantly waiting for people to hurt us, if we're constantly expecting bad things to happen to us, if we are constantly afraid, believing the world is not a safe place, then we're going to have anxiety. So I want to plant the seed that there are ways out of that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be through medication. Granted, I do medication. Um, I do prescribe medication, but being an integrative psychiatric provider, I also provide other ways to heal, if you'd like, depression and anxiety. And the first place I start is awareness. So right here, this is it. This is where we start. We start with coming to terms with where we are, coming to terms with the fact that we have created our lives to be what they are right now, right here and right now. And we're the only ones that are going to be able to get ourselves out of it. And the sooner we can start taking responsibility for our lives, the sooner we can stop blaming other people, blaming our bosses or our spouses, blaming our jobs, blaming where we live, blaming our upbringing, our parents. As soon as we can stop blaming and start taking responsibility for the fact that from the moment we turn 18, from the moment we become adults, that we are the ones responsible for creating our lives. And so for those of you who are joining me tonight, or for those of you who view this video later on, I hope that this meditation will help bring you a little bit of internal peace and help give you a little glimmer of how powerful mindfulness can be. And if you like what you hear and if you like what you see, please join the Torch community. Please sign up for my newsletter. Please get connected with us, reach out to us. I'll be doing workshops in the second half of the year. Some may be in person, some may be virtual. Don't know. Lots of uncertainty today, or these days. COVID has kind of turned everything upside down, which is actually really an amazing thing because it has broken all of our patterns. So it's the perfect time for us to heal. It's the perfect time for us to take some time to look inward and to heal our hearts. And then be able to help others heal themselves as well. So, let me see, it's a 7-Eleven. Okay, so we're going to get started. I would like for you to make sure you're in comfortable clothing. I hope at this point you're wearing something comfortable. If you have a tight belt on, please loosen it. If anything's kind of tight on you, just loosen it because you don't want anything constricting the energy. And I'd like for you to be in a quiet room if possible. Be free of distractions other than my neighbor doing yard work because he always does yard work on Tuesdays. But that will stop soon. And just get yourself comfortable. So make sure that your back feels supported. Make sure that your legs feel supported. Make sure that you're comfortable temperature-wise. I often, when I'm first starting to teach mindfulness, I don't recommend lying down because most people will fall asleep. Because most people haven't cultivated mindfulness, like a mindful awareness of that state. And so the brain, when you lay down, the brain goes, oh, we're lying down, we should be sleeping. And then, oh, we're sitting up, we should be awake. Versus, oh, we're lying down, maybe we're going to be meditating, or maybe we'll be sleeping. But so get comfortable. Close your eyes. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, you can just kind of lower your gaze and kind of focus just a few feet in front of you, just with soft eyes. So we don't want our vision to distract us because our vision is the greatest distractor and also the greatest deceiver. It's really remarkable how our brains are wired to just see bits and pieces, and then it will create an entire whole based on what you believe and what you've seen and what your experiences are. So we're going to close those eyes, hands on your lap, feet on the floor. And I'd like for you just to take a moment to be mindful of your body. Just notice if you feel any tension in your body. So maybe you feel a little bit of tension in your shoulders or in your neck, in your head. If you'd like, you can kind of bring your arms up. You can rub your shoulders. It feels so good. Rub your neck. Just roll your head around for a second. Stretch out those muscles. If your lower back feels a little tight, you can also give your lower back a little love. Maybe even come around and rub your thighs. Just dropping awareness into your body. So what we're doing is we're just dropping awareness into the body, pulling it out of the cognitive sphere and into the somatic sphere. And so once you feel like you've moved enough, you've massaged enough, you can massage your forearms, you can massage your hands, to start getting that tension to release. And then we come into quiet and we stop moving and we just start being mindful of our breath. And so with your eyes closed, I'd like for you just to start noticing the movement of the breath. Coming in through the nose, through the sinuses, down the throat, into the lungs. If you're feeling really relaxed, your lungs are going to expand fully. You'll feel the diaphragm flatten out and the abdominal muscles release in your stomach. Your belly will be like a baby's belly. It will expand. And then as you exhale, you feel the abdomen pull in. The diaphragm contracts up through the ribs. The breath moves out through the throat, the sinuses, and out the nose. And so just take a few moments to feel the breath coming in and going out. Coming in and going out. Imagining with each exhale, you're releasing any tension, any tightness. You're letting go of anything that may have happened today that is still with you. Traffic, disagreement with a spouse, boss, work stress, whatever may have been speed bumps in your day. Imagine each time you exhale, letting that go. And coming into the present moment and knowing right now and right here, you're safe, you're secure, and that you're taking care of yourself. So you can give yourself a virtual pat on the back for showing up for yourself today. So I'm going to take you through a guided relaxation today. And then we're going to work a little bit with the mind and kind of moving awareness to different places to help kind of diffuse the grip that the mind can have on us. So it's the nature of the mind to wander. That's just completely normal. But we don't always have to follow it, and we don't have to believe it. So I want you to first bring your awareness to your feet. You can wiggle your toes around, you can wiggle your feet around a little bit, and then be mindful of your feet resting on the earth. And being aware of socks, shoes you might have on, house slippers, or your bare feet. Being mindful of the floor. Your feet may be resting on carpet or on a hardwood floor. If your legs are crossed, just be mindful of how your legs feel resting on your sofa cushion or on your floor, on your meditation cushion. And imagine releasing any tension you might be feeling in your feet, in your toes, in the arches of the feet, in the heels. And I always like to just imagine that tension just kind of draining out of my feet into the earth. Just let it go. The earth is the great alchemizer, so we're going to let go all of our tension into the earth because she takes garbage, turns it into compost, and then, however she does it, creates flowers. It's a miracle. So let go of that tension, release it, feel your feet relax, and then come up to your calves and your shins, seeing if you can be mindful of the kind of the middle point of your lower legs, the inside of your lower legs, and then being mindful of the outside of your lower legs, the muscles of the legs, maybe being mindful of the shin bone, the fabric of your clothing on the shin bone, being mindful of the skin. Is it exposed to air? Is it covered by clothing? And then on the next few exhales, imagining releasing any tension you might be feeling in your calves, in your shins, in your lower legs. So I know a lot of people suffer from restless leg syndrome. And I know there are a lot of medications out there for restless leg syndrome. But I really believe that it's just pent up energy because we're not moving enough and we're not stretching enough. And we carry a lot of tension in our legs. And so just imagine releasing any tension in your lower legs. And bringing awareness up through your knees and into your thighs. If you want to take a moment just to kind of tighten your legs, tighten your toes, tighten your calves, tighten your thighs, tighten your glutes. Tight, tight, tight. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and release. Feeling that tension move down the thighs, down the shins, through the feet and into the earth. With each exhale, inviting your legs to soften and relax. inviting your lower body to release any tension. So relaxing your glutes, relaxing your hips, relaxing the back of your thighs, your hamstrings. So most of our low back pain is a consequence of, I'd say, half and half. Half of it's body, so it's tight hamstrings, tight glutes, pull down on the lower back. And then partly it's mental burdens that we're carrying, financial stressors, fear, repressed emotions that get stuck in our lower back and create this kind of chronic pain. So just imagine releasing all of it, letting it go, allowing it to move, allowing it to go down the legs and into the earth. And then take a moment to see if you can feel your belly move as you breathe. So as we work with the breath, we begin to learn how to relax the abdominal muscles. We begin to learn how to engage the diaphragm to deepen the breath. And as we engage the diaphragm, which is this very thin muscle that transects our chest from our abdomen, this very thin muscle moves. It's very strong. And it moves throughout the middle of our body. And the more we can engage the diaphragm, the deeper our breath can be, which means more oxygen, which the brain is very happy. The body's very happy to have more oxygen. But it also massages the internal organs. So the belly will open and then the belly will release. So just noticing any movement in the belly as you breathe. Once again, if you notice any tension in the abdomen, any tension in the pelvic floor, any tension in the lower back, just invite your body to let it go. And feel that tension move down through the legs, through the feet, and into the earth. And bringing awareness up into your spine. So lots of muscles that run all up and down along the sides of the spine, as well as muscles that attach the pelvis to the lower ribs. And then we've got muscles that attach the scapula to the neck, spine to the neck to the cranium. So all of these muscles carry so much tension because they do so much work for us throughout the day. And so taking a moment just to be mindful of your back body. Perhaps even feeling how the spine moves as you breathe, and then imagining on each exhale, releasing any tension or tightness, and just allowing it to move down the spine, down the legs, through the feet, and into the earth. And then bringing awareness to your chest, to your heart. Taking a moment to check in with your heart. Where is your heart today? How is your heart feeling? Oftentimes when we bring awareness to our heart space, and you can actually bring your hands over top of your heart. You can feel a shift in your being. At least I can. As soon as I touch my heart with my hand, I just feel my body soften. Because I think when I get up in the morning and when I prepare to enter the world, for some reason I feel the need to protect my heart. Most of us do. And yet, those who report to be the happiest human beings are the ones who can allow themselves to be most vulnerable, which means they face life with an open heart. So checking in with your heart, noticing any tension you might be feeling in your chest, in your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your wrists. Taking a few nice slow breaths and imagining as you exhale, releasing any negativity you might be feeling in your heart, any anger or hurt or grief, just allowing it to kind of gently roll out of your heart, down your spine, down your legs and into the earth. Any tension in your arms, your shoulders, your hands, just let it go as you breathe out. The exhale is a perpetual invitation to surrender and let go. So when I'm doing breath work with clients and I notice that they have very short exhales, I know that they have a hard time letting go. And so when we're working with the breath, we want to unlock the power of the breath, which is ultimate surrender. And so feeling the breath come in, you feel that vital energy beginning to circulate through your relaxed muscles, circulate through your body. And then as you exhale, letting go anything you don't need. Just turn it over. So bringing awareness into your throat, into your neck, the back of the head. Imagining on the next few exhales, releasing any tension that you might be harboring in your neck. So a lot of times the energy of the throat chakra is what has been said or what hasn't been said. So what we hold in or what we may let out irresponsibly. So we've said some unkind things, if we've used our words to hurt another human being, or if we've withheld saying what we need, or saying I love you. So just imagine releasing any of that energy that might be caught in the throat, caught in the neck. Relaxing your scalp. So literally just feel the muscles of the scalp release and let go. We hold so much tension in the back of our necks. And that tension in the back of our heads, like right where our neck hits our head, it's called the occiput. The more tension we have in that space, the less cerebral spinal fluid can move from the spine to the brain. And so the less we reduce the detoxification, but we also reduce kind of like the rejuvenation, so like the movement of water through our brains brings nutrients, brings water, and then flushes out toxins. So the more tension we hold at that spot, right where our neck meets our head, the more we cut off our brain from that vital energy and that vital kind of flow of the cerebral spinal fluid. So just imagining releasing that tension, releasing your scalp, softening your forehead, releasing your eyebrows, softening your eyes and their sockets. Imagining releasing your ears and your temples and your jaw. And even softening your tongue. So be mindful of where your tongue is in your mouth. So you can either allow the tongue just to rest on the bottom of the mouth, which is kind of a strange feeling, or you can just take the tip of the tongue and rest it right behind the front two teeth. That creates an energy circle. So it helps your chi flow in a circular pattern when your tongue rests behind your front two teeth. And so just take a few more nice deep breaths, noticing any tension in your body that might have been still holding on. And you can just bring your awareness to those spaces and just invite them to relax. If they want to relax, great. If they don't, great. Great. It's all about inquiry. It's all about finding where we are. What's our starting point? And then being okay with wherever that is. And so a lot of times I'll get people relaxed and then they'll, say, my mind is racing. I can't let it go. It's taking over. I can't meditate. That's not true. You're meditating right now. So if your mind is racing, be present with it. But I'd like for you to imagine that your thoughts are like clouds in the sky. So since we've connected with the body, since we've done a nice relaxation, you should feel awareness all the way down to your feet, your calves, your thighs, your glutes, your back, your belly, your chest, your neck, your throat, your head. So you're embodied. So even if those thoughts are moving rapidly across the landscape of your mind, I want you to imagine they're like clouds. And see if you can practice non-attachment. So notice whatever goes across that scroll board. And know that those are just automatic thoughts. They're just filler. And that the only person who gives them meaning is you. Which means you have the choice to not pay attention to them, to not give them meaning. And so take the next few moments just to kind of be aware. How interesting, how curious. What's your mind telling you? And how often have you ever believed it? And can you just let it go for right now, for just the next few minutes? And you just let your mind do it. Do you, mind. You do you, mind. And I'm going to do me. I'm going to do human being. Just hanging out. Just chillaxing. Just getting to know you, mind. Getting to know the perpetual messages that are running across the landscape of my mind that oftentimes I believe. That oftentimes I latch onto and follow down the rabbit hole of whatever negativity, judgment, criticism. You choose your poison. But know that in moments like these, when you take just a little bit of time to drop into your body, to drop into your being, you are not controlled by those thoughts. That you have the choice to be in control, which is to just let it go and to choose to be in the present moment. And if you find that you're still having a hard time letting go of the thoughts, you can count your breath. So you can just kind of count on the in-breath 1, and on the exhale 2, on the inhale 3, On the exhale, 4. It's a very good thing to do if you're having a hard time falling asleep. Starting from 100 and go backwards. 99, 98, 97. So when we hold one thing in our mind, so it can be a word, love, peace, it can be counting, it can be an image. The thoughts don't have any space. So if you're having a hard time with the racing thoughts, move your focus to something else. And then another thing that you can do, and these are like more geared into the body, but you can bring awareness to your feet. Feel your feet resting on the earth. Feel your feet in your shoes. Feel your feet, feel the socks. Feel how far away your feet feel from your body. Maybe even be able to feel the pulse of your heartbeat in your feet. And just keep your awareness on your feet. And then what will happen is you'll get distracted. You'll pull back up into monkey mind. You become aware that you're back in monkey mind, and then come back to awareness of your feet or your hands or your heart. Another mindfulness, another thing to focus on is your heartbeat. And actually, there is a branch of meditation that's the entire meditation, is just staying present and focused on the heartbeat. And so, just bringing awareness to a little left of center. You can put your hand there if you'd like. And see if you can be aware, become aware of your heart beating in your chest. Some people have a hard time when they first start paying attention to their heartbeat. Other people can kind of tap in pretty quickly. But if you can tap into your heartbeat, can you notice how it changes as you breathe? So this is called our heart rate variability. And so when we're first starting meditation or mindfulness or breath work, there's a big difference. Usually the heart will speed up pretty rapidly as you breathe in and it gets constricted, and then it will slow down as you exhale and the pressure is released. But the more we're able to meditate and be present, the less of a difference there is between the two. It's a smoother transition. And so just be mindful of that. And if you've wandered off into thought, that's completely normal. Don't see it as a failure. Don't use it as a reason to judge yourself. Just say, oh, I've wandered off. I'm going to come back into present awareness. And lastly, I'd like for you just to take your hands and place them over your heart space, so your heart chakra, which is right in the middle of your chest. And just take a few moments to feel the warmth of your hands on this space. Take a few moments to just be mindful of the space. You can imagine there's a green sphere sitting underneath of your hands. The heart chakra is green, the color is green. Although it could be in your mind pink or gold or red or blue, whatever you want. Take a moment to see if you can tap into the essence of the heart, of your heart energy. This is the space where spirit manifests into the physical. So this is where love, which is a completely abstract idea, becomes manifest as heartache or joy, and it moves us. It turns into emotion, energy emotion. So the emotions of the heart, love, peace, compassion, joy, it's all inspire us to do certain things, to think certain things. So see if you can just tap into that energy for a moment. Maybe if you can tap into that feeling of love in your heart, imagining on the next few exhales, sharing that love with a person in your life that you think may need a little extra love, may need a virtual hug, or a community of people that may need a little extra love. Or you can send it to the world, to the earth, to the trees and the plants, to wherever you want to send it. But just send a laser beam of love somewhere. And just feel how good that feels. And then bring your hands back down to your lap. And drop your awareness back into your body, resting on chair, the bed, the floor. Be mindful of the sounds in the room, outside of the room. And bring a little bit of movement to your fingers and your toes. Stretch. I always love to roll my neck. I always get tension in my neck because I hold a lot of stuff in my throat chakra. So you can roll your neck around. Oh, it feels so good. You can bring your arms overhead, stretch. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So I want to say, well, first, how do you feel? Check in. How'd it go? So we did about 30 minutes today, which was really great. So you gifted yourself with 30 minutes of mindful awareness. So how did it go? I hope it went really well. And I hope it has inspired you to join the Torch community, which you can do so at my website, www.torchwellness.com. You can let us know that you'd like to be added to the newsletter, or you can email us at torchwellness@gmail.com, and Tracy or I will gladly take your information down, send us your email, and we will add you to my newsletter. And then you'll get mostly a bi-monthly newsletter. It's been a bit bumpy these first few months of 2020 for Tracy and I. So, but I think we're gonna get back on track. And then I guess you can see kind of all of my things that we do at Torch. We do some mindfulness stuff, we do some nutrition stuff, we do some psychiatry stuff and integrative psychiatry. It's pretty exciting, and I'd love for you to join us. So please do something kind for yourself tonight, or maybe even do something kind to someone else just to honor this practice that we just did. And I want to say thank you very much for joining me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And I think that's it. So have a good night. Thank you. And I'll see you next month. Okay? Bye-bye.